It begs the question that, is Pope Francis perhaps the false prophet, or what are we looking at? With Pope Francis came a scandalous document that they called the Abu Dhabi Declaration, which declared the diversity of religions as willed by God. And so that was very concerning. Also, that you've seen now Pope Francis, but also various bishops in the United States and cardinals and so on, talk about Ramadan, talk about, do engage, even Pope Francis, before he was Pope, engaging in the Jewish ceremonies at Jewish synagogues with rabbis and so on. You had Pope Francis with his friendship with the Episcopalian bishop there. He wanted to convert to Catholicism, and Francis told him not to. So you also have these, even under John Paul II, and actually Paul VI before him, you had these sort of gatherings of religious leaders all praying together. Everyone understood, I think, when John Paul II did it, he's praying for their conversions. Certainly doesn't seem that way with Pope Francis also doing the same kind of interreligious gatherings, but nonetheless. But then the idolatry thing was huge because the Pachamama was massive. With everybody, the whole wide world, watched them actually adore, foreheads to the ground, the Pachamama idols. Francis is sitting right there watching it, and afterwards they processed the statues, these pagan idols, which he acknowledged as Pachamama, up to him, and he blessed them. Then they took them in a canoe and processed them into St. Peter's and put it in the middle of St. Peter's and formed a circle around it, the Pope and the cardinals and priests, and prayed around there. Then they put them into another church in Maria Transplantina as idols in the church. They were then taken out, thanks be to God. But nonetheless, in Canada, when he came to Canada, they also engaged in a pagan ceremony with a indigenous shaman who asked them to put the cardinals and the Pope to put their hands on their chests and on their hearts and to close their eyes while he blew a sacred bone whistle or something from his pagan religion, and also literally called upon the Western grandmother, a god they believe, to open the door to the sacred circle of spirits so they could come and join them. An obvious pagan ceremony in which the Pope publicly participates with a few of the cardinals. So what you said about this kind of coming together of religions falsely, is that what we're seeing? Because it certainly seems that way. It begs the question that, is Pope Francis perhaps the false prophet, or what are we looking at?
For me, this incident with the Pachamama, John Henry, was for me a fork. It was for me evident anymore that I could not agree anymore with Francis as the head of the church, which de facto is. Although I spoke with the gentleman who translated my book from English to Spanish, is a professor of canonical law. So according to canonical law, according to him, Pope Francis is the head of the church de facto. But in regards to your question, what happened in the Vatican, on Vatican grounds, we have to call a color white being white when we see it as such, was nothing less than complicity to idolatry, period. If you go into the Wikipedia and check the name Pachamama, you will see it's a Amazonian goddess. And we also, in front of our TV screens, these people on all fours adoring and praying the Pachamama to render the earth fertile to produce fruit. On the background, we could see Pope Francis smiling ever so benevolently in a very paternal manner and permitting this to happen. And as you said, to bring it forth inside St. Peter's Basilica, it was a disgrace. It's idolatry, period. That's it. You cannot excuse something that is that radically opposite to the faith of the church. No, despite it all. Yes, another Christ has been called, has been forewarned, and we know we have to expect him. I personally, what I see in Pope Francis, as I said, to this day, he has not yet attacked the principal foundation of the church, which is the Gospels and the Holy Sacrament of the altar. I think that he's committed that idolatry with the Pachamama, and that indeed he's committed other great wrongs. Fiducious supplicants is another example of what he's trying to, and his supporters are trying to bring forward to the Catholic Church a new interpretation of our faith. I believe that the Antichrist that was foretold is yet to come. And this particular man will be literally the leader, will come where Pope Francis left off. I think, in retrospective, looking backwards, without any passion, without any emotions, that Pope Francis will have a great deal to account for at the time of his demise, of his death. It doesn't appear to be in very good health. I pray for himself. I pray that he converts in time as well. But I think what is yet to come is going to be considerably harsher. And what is yet to come and is imminent.
I am pleased to announce the launch of the new LSNTV app, which can bring all of LifeSite News' top video content direct to your phone, tablet, computer, and TV so that you can bypass the censors and keep fighting with us for life, faith, family, and freedom. Don't be alone in the darkness. We've been canceled. Fight the cancellation. Download the app.